Beautiful. All right, welcome to our third and final Vision Quest for 2026. And we're going to today talk about, I kept talking about it as, do we do goals or do we not do goals? So you'll see what we mean. If this is your first time running through it, we have a unique way of looking at goals because if you're anything like me, goals just don't really work. So why bother having them if they don't work? And you'll see when we get there. So let us open our session today by arriving here. So you know we like to do it with feet flat on the floor. Some nice deep breaths in. And on your next deep breath in, bringing your hands into prayer pose. And on the exhale, allowing your fingers to fall forward. And then spreading apart time-space reality, moving the past out past your left hand and the future out past your right hand. Releasing those timelines to all that is, allowing them to be tended to perfectly. I always like to think of them, it's like handing the universe this ball of yarn that's all knotted up. And while we're here, the universe is undoing all the knots and straightening everything out. That's the way I like to imagine it when I talk about releasing the timelines to all that is. And feeling around yourself this beautiful, clear energy of the now present moment. And bringing hands back to prayer pose for another breath. Beautiful. So we are actually on the page. We're heading toward the page that is soul desires and core beliefs. And we're going to finish up by going backwards a couple pages and look at your big vision for 2026. Because I feel like we want to do some of the work today before we actually put that piece in. If you already have something there, that is perfect. You might revise it, or you may be perfectly right on and leave it there. So what I want to ask first is, did you find your word of the year yet? And was it one of the words that I had put into the portal? Or did you have a different one?
All right, so my word is connection. I don't know if it's in the portal because when I wanted to look at it, I was on vacation and didn't have access and have not gone back to it.
Okay. That doesn't ring a bell, and because there were, I don't know, 15, 16 of them, and then of course I added joy because that's mine. So I'll check. If it's not, I'll make you one for connection.
Oh, thank you.
So you'll have one. So anybody else, if your word of the year doesn't show up there in the section in the portal, give me your word and I'll create you one. So that'll be coming. All right. Now, any other questions that you have about the past 2 weeks? And those of you who are not able to be here live, we are, although this is our final class, we're running this through the 31st. You'll have access to the library until then, and you can come into the messaging messengers group and ask any questions you want. So you can feel free to drop questions in there. So if you have any about the process or what you came up with, then just drop them in and we'll be happy to answer them. So Phyllis, you were sharing a little bit about how far you got and what you discovered.
Yeah, what I discovered is traveling the first week or 10 days of the year was not ideal with no Wi-Fi or internet to participate. I did not print out the whole Vision Quest thing and bring it with me. So big vision for 2026, what came to me and what I've been thinking about and got an email today was on making an audiobook.
Yes, from your written book.
Yep, probably a brain
Yes.
makeover.
Ah, okay, fine.
What?
I want the new one.
Oh, well, I may do that one. I will see where my energy is with it,
Yeah,
and I might do both. I
that would
really
be
wanted to do an
wonderful.
audiobook of Empowered You when it came out, and I took this course
Mm-hmm.
or listened to this guy and actually signed up for his course when I had broken my wrist and it was in a cast. And so I had no idea that my recovery would take so long.
Right. Yes.
Um, but now I feel ready, like this is the year I'm going to do an audiobook.
Beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't stand it. Um,
Mm.
and it's this idea of not that you had to have a broken wrist so that you wouldn't do the audiobook. However, it is possible that the timing is now much better than it would have
Yes.
been even then. And oh, that just makes my heart sing. I'm so excited about that. So, what we're going to do is work together on your desires. And so, we're going to do that over on, you'll see it, Soul Desires and Core Beliefs. It's somewhere around page 47, maybe 48. And then on the next page, it says, My desires, what do I want? So, from here, you're just going to make a list of your desires. Now, this is everything you want. And yeah, there will be details, so you can just use this as a starting place. So don't get sidetracked by how. We're not dealing in the hows. What is it? Mike Dooley calls them the cursed hows. Doesn't matter how. It's just if you want it. Um, I put here, now that I am fully aware everything is always working out for me, nothing has gone wrong, nothing can go wrong. I do not let my outer circumstances influence my conviction that all is well. So, from this space, what I really want is. So, you can see how I'm setting you up for let all the other stuff go. And remember, we're spending this whole year under Phyllis's download of you are not supposed to live from the past. And if there's more words to it, it's in the front of the book, but that's the gist. And so we're just going to drop all that luggage and go brand new, fresh. If I could have anything and everything I desire, what do I want? So let's spend 5 minutes working on that. I'm going to set a timer and we're going to go have fun. let's pause on that for a moment. And let's go through the piece. Go flip over until you get to soul desire or ego desire. And I'm going to walk you through this. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go back through the list that you just made. And on the next few pages, for each desire that you wrote, I want you to write what you believe you will gain from that desire. And then you can use these questions that are here as a guide. Do you believe that this desire will make you more likable, more popular, or get someone, and this was always mine, off my back about something? Do you believe this desire will bring you great joy, not just when it manifests, but along the journey as well? Do you believe this desire will serve both your soul and others? So when you're complete with that, you're going to cross out the desires that don't make the cut, meaning only keep the desires that will bring you joy on the journey as well as the manifestation and will serve you. Then you're going to go through that new list because there will be some you'll probably knock off. Now, I am happy. What is this, our 5th time doing this, fellas? There aren't very many. I can already think of the ones on there. I'm not putting very many ego desires. In fact, probably there's none. There's a couple that need to be tweaked a little. But yeah, the first time I did it, it was like, oh man, half of them came off. So yeah. So if you're new, don't be distressed if there's a ton on there. Because that's what we're ingrained to do, is go along to get along. And especially as women, you know, we need to be this, we need to be that, we need to do the other. And it really doesn't have anything to do with what we truly desire. And we get tricked into thinking it is. And not so much tricked as, but it's the habitual, this is what you should do. We begin to believe that that's true. So then you're going to ask this question to help refine it. Is this desire one I believe I can achieve? It isn't really what you want because you don't really believe that you can have what you really want, but you can almost believe this one. So let's look at, you want a new job at a really big company and you want all of this stuff. Or let's go the opposite way. You want to have your own business. You want to sit at home on your computer and change the world. But you don't believe you can make money at it because you've been told you can't. You want to do your art. You want to have your art become a business. You'll never make money at that. Everybody's a starving artist. You start hearing society coming at you. So, okay, I'll do that as a side gig and I'll go get this other job that's going to really create the money. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's not going to get you where you want to go if you're only getting the job because you won't follow your heart and do what you really, really want to do. Now, where this becomes even more insidious is when you desire something that you don't really, really want because it feels like, oh, I could do that. Okay, I'll do it. You really don't excel at it, and it's not a success because your heart's not in it. And then, of course, the thing you really, really want, you're not even putting on the list because, of course, that's impossible. Well, we're suspending impossibility here. So get it on the list. Do you maybe need to work toward it? Sure. But we want to at least set the universe loose to bring it about. So then flip the next page and you're going to see the matrix. Now, it is a little bit hard to read here. If you printed this out, you might could even turn it sideways and look at it better. But this is from Mike Dooley, and I'm leaning toward offering the entire program around playing the matrix somewhere in maybe in late February. But for now, what we're looking at here is how the entire spectrum of reality of everything that we could have we want to go as broad as possible. The details will come and fill themselves in. But what we're looking for here is over on the right-hand side, these are the delusions, because these depend on time, space, matter, and others. So, in other words, if you get really, really specific, I want to marry Billy Bob Thornton. There are a few impediments between you marrying Billy Bob Thornton, including one or two of his wives. Plus, how in the world are we going to ever meet him? That's what we're talking about. I want this. And it's so dependent on everyone else in the world's lives bending to you that it makes it a hard row to hoe. Does it say you'll never get it? No. But how hard are you going to have to work? How crazy are you going to get? So we want to detach from the exact thing, and then we go all the way on the other side, which is mine. Sacred Life Mastery used to be lean toward happy. Because if we can just lean toward happy, no matter what's going on, just see if you can turn just a little bit toward the happy part of it, that this will start taking care of itself. And so the very best thing to want is, what do you want? I want to be happy. Because there are a gazillion ways that the universe can help you be happy. And this is the other key part. The universe knows what it will take for your soul to be happy. So when you're focused on, I am happy, that is my goal, I am happy. I used to stand around and say, this is when I was learning to flip all this for myself years ago. I would say, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I'm going to be happy. And then, yes, it sounds very selfish. And Abraham Hicks says one time, someone said, well, you know what you're teaching is selfishness. And we go, exactly. Because every single person in the world was only interested in their own happiness, peace could reign. But no, people are all interested in, I need to make these people do what I want. And I need to make, that's where all the grasping and all this turmoil comes in. So you see here, we're attach. I'm attached to being happy. Then there are other aspects of this that depend on you. Understanding, gratitude, spirituality, confidence, creativity, acceptance, tolerance, compassion, patience, self-love. I need to put joy on there. That's mine this year. These are aspects and attitudes that we can bring to the party, but they are part and parcel of being happy. And then we do have the Fantastic Five. Now, if you notice, they have shifted over illusions because they can bring in other people. And when we are attached to other people and what they do to make our stuff come true, that's where we get hung up. But this is the Fantastic Five, is what kind of livelihood. Now this was an interesting shift for me. Livelihood and abundance are two different things. I always had that, abundance and money had to come from the work you did. So that made, in my mind, livelihood and money were all tangled up and combined. And they're not. Yes, can you make money from your livelihood? Yes. Should you? Probably. But let's not limit the universe from what it can do. There's something that can be going on in the background while you're over here living your livelihood and enjoying it. And it's what kind of livelihood do you want? I want a livelihood that prospers me and my family and others. I want to do work that feels valuable to the world. As a projector, I want to do work I can be recognized for, because that's one of my signs. It's one of the things that feeds me. Anyone who's not a projector, recognition is not usually your thing. You've got other things. So it's this idea of fleshing that out. But we've got your livelihood, your abundance, your health, your relationships, your appearance. You can have definite, I want so and so and so. Again, not being attached to how it's going to happen. Um, Relationships. I want to be in a supportive relationship. I want to have relationships that fill me up and they're with people who I fill them up. But I'm not going to go, ooh, I'm going to go find somebody and that's who I'm going to marry. Well, first I'd have to get out of this 53-year-old marriage. And then at my age, I'd probably have to get him out of a marriage. Yeah, no, thank you. Why do I want to add those hornet's nests? Now, I want to go ahead. We were going to get to it in a minute, but I thought, this is a better place to put it. I'm going over here to it. Let's see if I can find the page. Over on okay, so step fully into the new year. Finally. Somewhere around page 70, 71, 72, there is the feng shui bagua. And these are areas of life that we want to look at so that we have a well-rounded life. Now, you notice that in the center of this is health and well-being. Isn't health and well-being happiness? So we've really got these two sides of this coming together, bringing us the same way. In the dead center, if we have health and well-being, if we have happiness, this to me is the key that we miss because we've been taught that whatever I want, I have to go after it. I have to work hard for it. It's up to, that sentence. If it's to be, it's up to me. Just do it. They might be great for running shoes, but they are not great for running a life. So the universe knows if I want health, well-being, happiness, I'm going to have all of the rest of it. So we're going to go back now to that original page because we have this here that you can look at if you're like, oh, I want to go ahead and play with those here in my What I Desire. Or you can play with over here on the matrix, which is somewhere around page 52 or 53. Okay, so we have all of these to work with. And so now we're going to go back to that page before the matrix and these list of questions. So we're going to spend some time and you're going to go through all of your list. Do they meet up or are they ego? And then dump them. And then go through the list to refine it by asking, is this one that you believe you can achieve or is it what you really, really, really want? So we're going to play with those for a few minutes and then we'll come back together. Do you have any questions, Phyllis?
No.
As our live person. Okay, perfect.
I think I got it.
All right.
I do have a question.
Okay.
All right. So one of my desires is to receive,
Mm-hmm.
um, receive like loving kindness, being included, support,
Mm-hmm.
all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Instead of just assuming I got to do it all myself and I can't count on people and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when that's not, to me, that's not an ego thing. That's balancing giving and receiving from like a
Yes.
spiritual place,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because the question is, do you believe that will make you more likable, more popular, or get somebody off your back? It has nothing to
Oh,
do with that.
no, no, no.
Yeah, yeah. Do you
Okay.
think it'll bring you great joy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even,
So
even
when,
as you're moving toward it, and then when it becomes an everyday normal thing, which we would then call manifesting, it's going to bring you joy. Yeah. And will it serve your soul and others?
yeah,
So it's a keeper.
okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm
how
gonna
I
have,
would refine it. Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna have to work on uh believing that one. That's the
Yes.
only one that's I want it, and there's a part of me
Okay.
that's like, well, maybe that's going to be a challenge and a half.
Well, and so you're it's perfect. Because it can depend on other people. So you're receiving you having you having something to receive depends on other people. So the main key for you is to stay detached.
Ah,
You're not saying my sister is going to blah 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 and I will happily receive that. Yeah, no. We know we're setting ourselves up, shoot ourselves in the foot, right? Yeah, so that's the point is you want to open your heart to receive all of these gifts that are out there waiting for you to be open to receive them. You don't believe they're there because you have been shut down for so long. So you're looking to open your heart. You're not going, now, it'd be a different thing if you were like, okay, I'm going to receive this because these particular people are going to suddenly start acting a different way. No. So, yeah,
okay.
that's where, to me, that's where the balance comes in. And, we talk about this a lot. The any physical action on planet Earth, the energy to become physical it has to slow way down. And so the actions we take can be exactly the same action, but the intention changes them from ego to soul. Because your intention in this whole thing, it leaves everybody out of the equation because we're not concerned with where this comes from. It may all end up coming from spiritual sources. We don't know.
Hmm.
If it was the other way, where, okay, I am going to receive love and acceptance and help and yada yada, and these are the people that are going to provide it. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Got it. Thank
Uh
you.
huh. again, as with everything, if you need more time, we have plenty of time. The winter season is not going to end until March. And so, especially with all of the stelliums and the other aspects and things that we have going on, we're in a nice, deep, contemplative, meditative gestation period right now. So don't worry about, oh, I'm late, I'm not going to get this figured out. Don't worry about it. It's all coming. And so we're looking at, over on page 56, I finally found the things, I'm telling you right. This is where you're going to make the list when you get all finished. You're going to make a list that made the final cut. So these are your soul desires for this year. And we're going to put the soul desires first, and then we can add the juicy details. Now, what's the difference in a juicy detail and a cursed how? The details are, I'm going to go with one of mine is clean, organized home. Now, you can immediately go, how are you going to do that? Well, my juicy details are, I want to find, and wouldn't it be cool if they were a couple? I want to find a homemaker, a housekeeper, a whatever, and we need somebody for the yard, because even with Jim's new knee, it's going to be a minute before he can get out and do all the things that need to be done on the property. And I don't believe that we are ready yet for the big move of shutting down owning a home and moving into somewhere where we don't have a bunch of maintenance, mainly because well, okay, there I am, you know, everything that I do in my life cannot fit into a 2-bedroom apartment. It just can't. So in my mind, it's like, well, how could I possibly? Maybe that should go on my list, is where could we live that has easy maintenance, where we can visit the kids with more ease, where we don't have all the things we are, you know, at this stage of life we're at, we're having the home and the big yard and all the alls. Maybe that's a way, maybe that's a detail, instead of, nope, it has to be, I'm staying here and I'm having a housekeeper. But if that was the truth, okay, I'm staying here, I'm having a housekeeper, what do I want? Not how it's going to happen, but what do I want? I want someone, well, number one, I want someone who does not go out and gossip to all of her friends in our little town that I went and cleaned that house and oh my God, yeah. I don't want that. So that's the details. I want someone who's honest and kind and loving and treats us and my stuff with respect. I don't want people who whine and gripe. So these are details. What is it I really want? How do I want this to be? Still looking at the details, but not attaching to them. And it's tricky. It's a practice. Not attaching that it has to be this way, it has to be that way. And then the other pieces I've learned is when I get, you know, how I want it is this always, this or something better. And then always, what is the simplest, easiest way for this to be accomplished? Like we're having a another car repair on my wonderful car. I love my car. It's the last ones that were ever made. It's a Pontiac Grand Prix. They do not make them anymore. I would love to keep it forever and ever and ever, but it's kind of in that early, you know, the ugly teenage years, you know, between a car being new and whoop-de-doo, and oh my God, look at that antique, woo! Well, you know, it falls into a place where people are, oh my God. So actually what I wrote was, I would love to have a more secure, safe ride. What I'd really like is to have that car completely refurbished. whatever, restored, I think is what they call it with a car. I'd like to have that Pontiac restored. Now, how in the world is that going to happen? I don't know, but wouldn't it be cool? So that's how it goes down on my desires. Now, it may be somewhere around the way, somehow, we just get a different vehicle and kiss this one goodbye. I don't know, give it to the grandkid. I don't know. But today, if I had my druthers, I would have this one restored because I'd love to keep it because I love my car. So that's how you want to be looking at these as you're playing here, is what are, again, I want to create a viable business from my art. Well, if I did that, how would I want it to be? Do I want it all online? Do I want to be in a gallery? Do I want all of the above? Do I want to sell one $50,000 painting to a collector once a month? Is that the type of art and the type of work I want to do? Would I rather, because it feeds my soul, I personally cannot imagine it, but there are those who do it, so they must. Do you want to do small pieces of art and go to all the little fairs and all the little shows all around town so that you're constantly out with people and showing your work and interacting with people? What do you want? Phyllis, with your book, audio book, do you want to work with a company that does it and you are, let me listen to it and give it my yay or nay? Do you want to be in the middle of it with your actual voice? Or maybe some kind of combo between the two. What do you really want? How do you want it to feel? How long do you want it to take? All right, I want to have this audiobook done. I do not want to spend 6 months finding somebody to help me. I'd like it on the shelves by, I don't know, let's go wild. I want it on the shelves by May. I want it in audiobook. I want it in Audible. I want to be announcing it by May. That's what I want. Now, are we attached that if May slides by and it's only 3/4 done, we're going to fall apart and say we failed? No. But if we had our druthers, we would prefer that. So you see, that would change your whole conversation with people. You meet some people and they go, well, you know, we're really, really backed up, so we could get to it in June or we could get to it in November. Well, they're not your people. Now, you don't care. Now, you know, if we work on it all 2026 and it comes out in January of 2027, I'm perfectly happy with that. See, it's going to change your conversations. So that's why we're doing the work. Not so we get so attached to it that and then you find the perfect people, the perfect everything, and I mean, it is just perfect. And they can have it for you by July 1st. You're going to go, okay, cool. It's okay to shift your plan because we're not attached to it. Now, maybe it's important here, especially for folks who are new to this. What does attached mean? Attachment is when you think my life will be diminished if this doesn't happen exactly the way I want it to happen and in the time frame I have set for it. My life will be over. And then there is the other. Let me think. Because there's the two pieces. One's the attachment, which is one we always hear about. Let me feel into the other if it'll come to my brain. If it doesn't now, it'll probably pop in here in a minute. I can't think of the exact word for it right now, but it's when we've already talked about it a little bit without using the term. It's when we, aversion. So we've got attached and we've got aversion. Aversion is, I really want a clean house, and but I can't have it because anybody who came to clean my house would then go out and spread in the whole neighborhood about it. Now that's a really silly one, although it's probably true in my case. But I really, really want $10,000 a month. But if I had $10,000 a month, I'm going to have to hire somebody to help take care of that money. I'm going to have relatives crawling out of the woodwork wanting me to support them. So it's the things that we think might happen that make us go, yeah, never mind. And it happens internally so that we don't realize that we are literally pushing it away. So we want to look at it from both ends. What are our aversions? What do we think will happen when that happens? Like for me, the aversion of I could move tomorrow if I didn't have to think about packing and moving. So the aversion to this whole idea of, maybe it's really time for us to think about moving from having a single family dwelling in a great big yard and, all the things. I'm sure that if I set my mind to it, I could find a place where I could still sit in my office and look out at flowering shrubs. I could still go out and cut some flowers. It doesn't have to be, well, I'm going to be stuck in an apartment with no grass, or I'm going to stay here. But you see where I'm already at. Yeah, I'm just going to push this whole idea of moving out of the way. So I'm not even opening myself up to the possibilities, opening up to what could happen. So that's what we, quote unquote, we do to ourselves. So that's what you're going to look at there, are your final core desires and adding juicy details, and that's on 56. You got a couple pages for that because I don't know how many desires you have. And now we're going to look at your core beliefs. So this one comes in 59. So our core beliefs are actually the things that we think of unconsciously, and you can change these. That's part of the work that I do. I have changed my own. One of my biggest ones that made the biggest impact of all is, and God love my husband, yeah, it's really his that then bled into me, was this idea of the universe and everything in it is against me. Cartoons, Peanuts, or oh no, it's even better. It's Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore. These cartoons have these characters because they're in real life, and my husband just has this belief that God wakes up in the morning going, how am I going to screw Jim Warren over today? I know, it's sad. Which is probably why God gave him me, because I can counter that. But one of my biggest core beliefs, I put them here on the page for you, is the universe and everything in it is conspiring, but it's conspiring for me. So even when something goes wrong, the universe is in there working things out. There's a reason. Everything always goes right for me. My life flows in perfect timing. There is always an abundance of time for everything that is mine to do. Now that one has a little caveat because it helps me remember if I am 100% slammed and there's just not enough time, I have to stop and look at what have I picked up and what am I doing that was never mine to do. Now, there are times like, as Phyllis knows, we're on the, thank God, other side of the third major surgery this year for my husband. So I have taken on a lot of stuff, and it has caused a lot of juggling It had to, because I had to take on responsibilities that are not normally mine. So just feeling with that. I am so thankful and grateful. This is an old Bob Proctor one that I love. I'm so thankful and grateful that money flows to me easily and in ever increasing quantities from multiple sources that delight and light me up. I don't want icky money. I want money that makes me happy. My body is an amazing energy field and is perfectly designed to come into harmonious alignment with well being. Now, the easy way to say that is my body knows how to heal itself, and in fact, is doing so right this minute. That's another Mike Dooley one. I totally trust my intuition. I hear it, I heed it, and I act immediately. I am always in flow. That one was one of mine I had to shift, because one of my things was I totally understand and believe and agree that the universe is sending me messages at all time. I totally 100%. What I found was I doubted that I was going to hear it and heed it. It was, of course, it always has to be on me. You know, it's not like the universe isn't saying anything. It's like I'm missing it. So I shifted that by having this belief, and to say it again and again and again and ingraining it in. And then this one I'm still working on. I control nothing. I surrender to divine order and divine wisdom. So those are mine. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to go ahead and jot down your core beliefs that are going to support your soul desires. You can take mine and run with them. You can add to them. You can doctor them up. Whatever you feel is good for you. So we're going to have a few minutes to work on those. Right, beautiful. Now, all of this talk is fabulous and it's going to bring up stuff. So that's why you have your dance journal in your book. We've come up to another dance journal. So this you can do at home, but it's the idea of looking at the fears, releasing them, clearing the energy. And then we have a really fun game to play with the waltz one that's in here on page 65. So this is playing the what if up game. So now we have amazing desires to work with, and the hows will come up because they're really big and really far away and, you know, from reality, all that. So an energetic way of making the big desires we have that are looking way out here is to go way beyond them so that the desires we have look smaller. So Phyllis, she wants to do her audiobook for her books. So her what if up, it would be, what if, I got all 3 of my books done and I had 100,000 listens to those. What if? And then it's like, okay, so my example here is your desire is to double your profits. So what if we triple them? That would mean I would have so much money to play with. I would love that because then I would. So see, Phyllis can play with that around her audiobooks. Who knows? She may find somebody who's going to give her a 3-book deal, and it'll be even better than if she just did 1 book at a time. I don't know. What if? So you want to go wild with that because then, number one, it's fun, but it makes the original goal feel more realistic. And it helps you let go of some of the hows, that feeling of, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do that. No, and that's fine. The less, I know, I am not in control. The less control we take of all of this, the more control the universe has. And since the universe can run it all, why don't we just let it have it? Because we're not trained. So that's part of what we're doing here. So as we're looking here now, up to the, finally, we are up to the thing of to goal or not to goal. This is page 68. And you have done fabulous. So society's telling us to get up, get going, but winter turns to spring, then your energy is going to become more eager to move and grow and flourish. And you will be ready to spring forward. Pardon the pun, although it was intentional. You have a set of new beliefs to support your attitude. You've decided what you really want. And most will tell you that now's the time to set goals. But not so fast, because I want to give you a different take on goals. There are many, many people who, including myself, are demotivated by goals. If you're not one of them, then you're probably mystified by that statement, but I promise you that it is true. And even if you groove with goals, this conversation is still for you. Because while we previously clarified between head, ego desires and heart, soul desires, what we're going to look at now is a way to move forward. So we're going to clean up the language and the energy around it. So knowing what you desire, then figuring out how to get there is usually the place that you create goals from. A goal can be seen as a target that you're aiming for, and this is the first problem with a goal. Usually your mind has to desperately figure out what it will take for you to have what you want. Then it figures out what you must do to get there. The second problem with goals is that they are always out there. And after a bit can become self-defeating because it feels like you're never actually reach them or even make any progress at all. And that is deadly for our energy. So then how do you set yourself up for success? You dreamed big, you have an overarching desire, a knowing of who you are and who you're serving and where you're headed. And this is not really a goal because you hold this desire as a done deal, not as something to be achieved. It is done. It is here energetically. Now, the path you take for this desire to come into the physical may include goals, but it is much softer and has way more powerful if you change the word goal to project. So on your way to manifesting the physical, your done deal, what inspired actions will move you toward that end result? The answer to this question is to do, moment by moment, what you feel inspired to do. You have your desires. Now you'll connect with guidance and feel into the next action to take and turn this into a project. A project has a time frame and incremental steps. Here's the fine place to use the word goal if you really love that term. This time frame, incremental steps could be a goal. When you are fully flowing in this way toward a desire you really want at soul level, you will know and take the next aligned action. This I know for sure. Then every day you feel successful because you heated your soul and took steps on the project. This mindset shift empowers you to feel powerful and in alignment, which allows Source to bring in all the support, the opportunities, and the synchronicities needed to manifest your desire that already exists in the ethers into physical form. Then you're going to take the most important step of all, which is celebrating. This is one of the worst habits we have as humans, and especially women. We pack so much into our lives, we relentlessly move from task to task. At the end of the day, taking a look at our undone task feels like we didn't accomplish anything, and therefore we are certainly not enough. This is a large focus of Vision Quest, to take all of the things that are not ours to do off our plates completely, to flow with guidance to know what to do moment by moment, and then celebrate each teeny tiny step. So I invite you to really commit to this for the next 30 days. As you complete anything, a conversation with someone, this live we're doing right now, or they're listening to the recording, a task on the list, caring for someone else, chores, go to bed on time, get up on time, get dressed, you get the idea. Write it down on your done list. Yes, you're creating a list of what you have done, jotting it down as soon as you do it and celebrating. This one shift changed my whole world. I was deflated at the end of every day with all I didn't get done. It seemed like I added more to the bottom of the to-do list than I got off the to-do list. I was spending time on unimportant tasks and those sneaky ego diversions. And what if you share the celebrations you're most proud of in the Sophia Temple Light Wisdom Library group? That would be fun. We would love to hear it. So as we are playing here, we're going to look at a way to reframe your to-dos. So we all have tasks that we show up for repeatedly, and we can lose sight of what they're doing, why we're even doing them, which can let resentment and resistance creep in. So we're on page 72 if you want to follow along. Both resentment and resistance are massive energy leaks and will quickly drain you of joy and happiness. So I saw this process in the Magnolia Journal, issue 19, and I adopted it here for you. What we're going to look at is recognizing the value in your everyday tasks brings freedom from feeling frustrated by the mind-numbing sameness that can easily set in. Yeah, there will always be another meal to prepare, pile of laundry to be done, blog to write, email to schedule, taxes to be done, on and on. Yeah. You can forget how each of these mundane tasks are actually a step in keeping your promises and supporting what you value. As you make these connections, notice how your perspective and energy shifts. I experienced this by running through the process with the task of emailing my tribe each week. It felt like a chore that was going unnoticed. By the way, it was unnoticed because my energy behind it was resentful and icky. Just saying. So, as I worked through this process, I remembered how highly I value connection and serving those who are gathered in my world. And one of the best ways to serve them, which is you, was to share from my heart at least once a week. Now, every time I write the Sunday dispatch, which is in what I call in my head my weekly email, I reinforce connection. When I remember the importance of connection in my life and work, writing the dispatch reminds me I am remaining committed to my heart's desire. So let's work to reframe some of your to-dos. So we're going to spend a couple minutes. I want you first to write down a repetitive task. Laundry, who knows, whatever. And then next to it, list what is important to you, people, things, and values. So like we said, I'm going to write my newsletter every week. Connection is important to me. So we're going to spend a few minutes working on that, and then we will come back for another little piece, and then we'll have our closing. We've got a special tapping routine to close this out. So you're going to start on page 73. Fabulous. You should have a few things down. You can always come back and add more. And now we're going to do this next piece, which is how to reframe them. Now, let me see. I'm going on down another page. All right, part 2 on page 75. So you're going to match your task to what's important to you and what you value. So complete the phrases to match a task to a value. So blank is important to me, so I make time to regularly. Each time I blank, I reinforce blank the value. I am committed to blank, and blank reminds me. So I'm going to use my connection is a value. Connection is important to me. I'm a 4-6 in human design, and 4 is all about community and connection. So of course connection is important to me. So I make time to regularly connect with my tribe. Each time I connect with my people, it reinforces my value of connection. I am committed to connection, and communication reminds me that every day in every way I am keeping my promise and holding fast to my commitment. Now you can work through this for each one of those. Then there's a little deeper inquiry. Am I doing this task in a way that honors my intention and takes me closer to my desire? So another one for me, a big value of mine, I am a Cancer South Node and a Cancer Moon, so family is important to me. So I make time to regularly take care of them. So my tasks that fall there are meal prep, laundry. Those I do because family is important to me. So each time I make a meal or each time I do the laundry, it reinforces that the family is important to me. I am committed to my family and to delicious meals and clean clothes. That reminds me that every day in this way, I'm keeping my promise and holding fast to my commitment. And this idea, we as women have a really, because we tend to tend to other people before we tend to ourselves, keeping our promises, especially to ourselves, we have a very bad habit of breaking those promises. And that erodes our energy. It is a big energy leak. So in this practice of seeing, you're going to make meals anyway. You're going to do laundry anyway. You're going to do all these things anyway. So when you can shift it from something else I got to do to this is a promise I made, this is a commitment that I made, you can feel the difference in how the one way of looking at it builds you up. It makes you more powerful. And the other way just drains you. So that's where the deeper inquiries come in. Who in your life benefits when you complete a task, and how important is that to me? Now this is also one where who in my life benefits when I complete this task? Nobody? Is it one you really need to do? I remember the old story, you've probably heard it, about this family. It was like the daughter or the granddaughter said, why is every time we make a ham we cut the ends off the ham? And the mother goes, I don't know. So it called her mother. And she said, why do we always cut the ends off? She said, I don't know. That's how I learned to make a ham. So thankfully she was still with us. They called the great-grandmother. And she says, it's the only way I could make the ham fit in my pan. So it had come down through the generations that you had to cut the ends off of the ham to cook it in the pan, but it was only because the grandmother only had that size pan. So now generations they've been chopping off ends of the ham when they have all sorts of sizes. So how many things are we doing? Because that's, oh, I have goosebumps everywhere. Because that's how it's always been done. It was a necessity at one point, but it makes no sense for us today. So this is where, for me, this is where it comes in, that who is benefiting from me chopping the ends off of this ham? No one. Why am I doing it? Maybe I don't need to. So, however, if it's like, you know what, I can use those ends and all sorts of things and it makes me feel closer to my grandmother or great grandmother to chop the ends off the ham, keep doing it. But it's an idea of stop, and Phyllis and I talked about this yesterday. How many things are we doing on rote by habit that are actually minimizing our lives because we're just in this routine and we're moving forward and we're not even aware of where we're moving? And then the other was, how does this task reinforce a value that's important to me? And if it doesn't, again, does it need to be done at all? Does it need to be done by you? So this is how we can clean our lives up a little bit. Then we've got another dance journal, which of course is really fun because this is hard stuff. What kind of fears and doubts and concerns come up when you're playing around with promises and commitments that you're making to yourself and you're making to others? So all of these feelings, when they come up, just put them here and then work through them with dance. And then at the very end, I have put for you, after the coloring pages and the waltz, I did give you all of the journal prompts that were found all throughout the guidebook. So as you need to come back, and I was really blank by all that I found I can celebrate. We could use that prompt all the time, can't we? So they're all here for you together. And it has been, we have one more piece here, but it has been my great honor to work with you throughout Vision Quest. I hope that you have enjoyed the Wisdom Library access for those of you who are not in here all the time. And I would love to invite you to continue with it. I'll be sending some emails out. But we have here the two links. You can get into live, which is where we do the live dark moon, full moon, and sacred pauses all through the year, or you can continue, and that includes the Wisdom Library, or you could pop and stay into Wisdom Library itself. So we have that. And I see you, I honor you, and I love you. This is always my favorite thing to bring to people. So now we're going to close Vision Quest 2026 with a powerful tapping. If you're not familiar with EFT tapping, it's just where we move through the points and we're very gently stimulating these points that are acupressure points actually. And at this point in our quest, we've taken a stand for what we desire. We've established strong boundaries with our upgraded beliefs. And now we're going to work to strengthen your third chakra power as we introduce a new idea about your identity. So this transformational tapping will not use the karate point. We're just going to start at the tap. And if you activate this point, you begin to tap on that point now. You'll guide you when to move to the next. And we'll just move as we have each phrase. You're going to want to say the phrase out loud. And yes, perfect. So most of us understand that who we are is not static. We get that we are an ever-evolving beings. However, many of us still believe that this evolution is a process of being perfected, of being healed, dare I say, being fixed. And we hold somewhere in our energy system this idea that one day we can finally be, if not perfect, we can at least be complete, finished, and done with all of this healing. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to feel into this and make a note of the number. How true is your belief that one day you must get all of this healing done? So 1 is, I don't believe that at all. And 10 is, yeah, why do I keep working on this if I'm not working toward an end zone? So just put that number down for you. Yet finally being done healing is actually not possible. The knowing at the third chakra is that you are an ever unfolding miracle. This means that you are called to be open to discovering who you are new every day, discovering the true mystery of who you are, unique in every moment, fresh, alive, new, and different. This is what keeps life exciting and ever evolving. So we're going to tap on I honor who I am. So allow yourself to relax, dropping your shoulders, taking another deep breath in and out, feeling your feet on the floor, grounded in solidarity. Begin your first tapping point. It's always the eyebrows for me. You can use one hand or two. Repeat after me, moving through the points. Even though I have spent a lifetime believing I need fixing and hiding who I am, withholding myself on purpose, judging myself as not perfect, I totally honor and accept myself. I honor who I am. Completely unique in this world. Unique in every moment. I constantly transforming miracle. That's me. The truth is, I am alive, fresh and new, different every single day. I am a complete mystery, and I am open to discovering myself every day. I am open to honoring who I am, my feelings and my actions as totally unique. I am open to honoring that my body and soul together express my uniqueness. And that's my life purpose. I open to the gifts of my third chakra, my power center, my desire to go be me in this world, which is my life purpose. I totally honor who I am, unique in every way, alive and fresh, transforming in every moment. I am a true one of a kind, and the world absolutely needs me to be all of me. I am open to this for my highest good and the highest good of everyone I touch in my life. as I own who I am, full of joy and passion, I give everyone permission to do the same. And that is a beautiful way to love other people. Taking a deep breath in. Notice how those words felt. More importantly, how does it feel in your body now? Where's the energy moving? On that scale of 1 to 10, how true is your belief that you must get this healing done and over with? Has your number gone down? You can use this process again and again and again and keep bringing this false belief down. Beginning today, your mission is to honor yourself as special and unique. Come up with fun ways to do this, like walking around the house, pointing to yourself, I'm awesome, I'm a rock star, the world is looking for the special I bring. Celebrate yourself, both as flawed and as an awesome, special person, because you are both. This week, ask a friend who loves you completely about you if they could share with you some of the qualities that they see in you and love about you. You are not looking for a checklist of areas to improve. So make sure that you're clear that you want to know what they see in you that they think is just awesome. And then put this list in your book of awe. Remember, you have those instructions at the beginning of this vision quest. And then I'd love for you to share your list with me as well, and the rest of us in our messaging group. That would be so much fun to see all of the things. So again, it has been my great pleasure to be here with you. And as we close today, our final piece here, our final live, let's return energy. Any energy in your field that belongs to someone else, we return it to sender with love and consciousness. Deep breath in, releasing it. Any energy in your field that belongs to something else, release all of that, allowing it to be transmuted into love. Deep breath in, releasing it. Beautiful. Now calling all of your energy back to your field. Deep breath in, sensing, feeling, knowing, or even pretending that your energy is riding your breath to your field, settling in right where it belongs, filling in all the empty spots, especially those left behind by the energy you released and returned, and bringing your physical body to your spiritual body, head to your head, heart to your heart, hips to your hips, feet to your feet, anchoring down into your Earth Star chakra, securing you to Mother Earth. Taking a nice breath here. Beautiful. And coming up for a big hug. And letting this energy know I see you, I feel you, and I love you. I'm listening to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Such a wonderful time. Have a glorious 2026. We'll have more things, something every month coming up, and I hope to see you there. So much love to you all. Bye.